Hi everyone, in this video I want to show off Obra Autodocs. It's our newest plugin. It's a plugin to generate component documentation. It's a paid plugin, but look further in this video for a way to get it for free. Hi everyone, this is a new demo of Obra Autodocs, and Autodocs is a plugin for Figma which you can use to organize your component sets. So this here is a component set. And when I select it, the plugin detects that, and you can click Generate Docs. And that's basically the plugin in its simplest form. If you don't care about the details, you can exit the video right now, because that's what it does. It documents your component set. But let's dive into a few more examples. Here we're gonna have a more complex example. So in this example, you will see that we auto-detect that this component has a Boolean property. I'm just going to make a copy because I later want to demonstrate the list and the grid. So let's first use the list style, and let's make some space and just hit the automatic documentation. So in this automatic documentation, you will see that our label here has a few states. There's the roundness default and roundness round. There's 5 variants, and there's 2 states. And then there is that Boolean property, which is showing the left icon. So that's documented right now. What you can also do, if you want, is you can click each plus all together, and this will document all states. So it will document both the icon on the left side and the icon on the right side. Now, I also said you can use the grid. So you can click grid, and you can generate a grid as well. So if you want things in a grid and not in a list, you can use those 2 options. Now let's move to the next demo. So this demo is called misaligned because the designer here was working, but not everything is aligned. So first, let's go to the Organize tab, and we will just click Auto Align. So now everything is aligned for us, and we can generate the documentation. Now I see that our documentation is still in grid with all the settings, but in this case, I don't really care to have like extra documentation just for this resizable property, right? So I'm doubling my documentation just to show this resizable property. What I want in this case is that I want to show that this property is there to be able to show to my colleague designers, for example, that let's say the value one, like let's say a sort of default variant has that Boolean property. So if I generate a docs like this, I just have the standard docs, but I also show that you can turn off the resizable, which is on by default. So that's a way to handle your documentation. The next one I want to demonstrate is just a larger group. And if I generate the docs, I just want to show the performance, right? So we generated this in 0.68 seconds. So I think that's mostly the performance demo. It doesn't show anything new, but for a larger kind of component, we are quite fast. Now, the next demo is a nested component. So in this component, you see how this dialog header is actually nested inside of this dialog. So I'm first going to generate documentation for the 2 subcomponents, right? We have the dialog header and we have a dialog footer. Now this dialog footer and header is embedded inside of this dialog. So if I run the documentation for this one, you see that we first get the default examples. So that's the desktop type, it's the desktop scrollable type, the mobile type, and the mobile full screen scrollable type. And the point that I want to make towards people consuming the component is that you can customize the footer and the header. So let's say you would take this component and start experimenting with it. What you can do is you can change this header and you can change this footer. And I want people to know that is a possibility in that component. So by documenting the Boolean options, we are able to document what you can do with the component. And when I remove the docs here, we can also we can choose. We can say full grid, all variants. And what this will give us is a long documentation that might not be relevant. So what we suggest, what we recommend is to take representative and to choose specific variants that make sense. So for example, the desktop scrollable, you might want a version with a header type. That is a logical variant that you want to know about. But you wouldn't know from this component because it's not there. Like you would have to know that this is a subcomponent of that and that it has the ability to set a title. So in this case, you could say specific variants. Then you could say, for example, desktop scrollable, and I want to document the variant of dialog header, but not of footer. And in this case, in the docs, I get what I want. I show that we can change the header. So as a final demo, I would like to show the Organize tab and how it works. So you might find a component set that is set up in a certain way, and you might not like how the designer put together the components. So here, for example, we have a primary button, and we have a primary button that is rounded. But if you wanted to make rounded a top level property in your documentation, now you would have to manually select all the rounded variants, and you would have to reorganize. So this plugin helps with that. So let's make rounded primary. We make rounded the top level variant. And what you see now is what changed is that now all my rounded buttons are at the bottom and all my non-rounded buttons are at the top. So this happened automatically by just changing the order. So the order is very important. What is also going on is that we have default small and mini, then we have large and extra large, and we have that documented as a column. So let's look at that in practice. We have the default button here, then we get a small button, we get a mini button, we get a extra large button, or no, we get a large button and then we get the extra large button. So let's say I want to order them from large to small. I could do something like extra large, large, default, small, and mini. And I can just do that in seconds, right? Same here with my state. If I want to put the focus state in front of the hover and active state, put the disabled state in front, I just change the order. This doesn't make any sense, so let's reset it. But this plugin in general helps you organize your component so that when you generate the docs, things are organized in a way that you like. So that's the demo for Organize tab. So in this next demo, I want to show that you can customize the color of your grid. So if you run the plugin, you can change the documentation color. For example, let's use this light purple, or we could use this regular Figma color, or we could add our own color. So let's add a green here, click add, and it's available as a documentation color. So in this next demo, I want to show that you can toggle the grid lines. So if you have, for example, generated documentation, you can click the toggle grid lines checkbox, which I'm turning on and off now, to basically remove these inner lines. That's what the function does. Why would you want to do that? I think it helps when you're designing new states. Maybe you don't want those grid lines to be in the way. So in the beginning of the video, I showed you I promised to get you a way to get Obra Autodocs for free. And you will see that if you are inside of our Obra CN kit, that it always just works. And the way it works is that it detects the name Obra in the file name. If you don't care for Obra in your file name, which I can totally understand, you can buy a license to use Obra Autodocs. We are basically, I'm gonna reset a license here, and you can, when you will view the plugin, you can basically see the screen and it will link to a link to purchase the license.